Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another episode of Talking Halos. I am your host today, Jerry James, and I am joined alongside Mike. Actually, I'm not. I don't have a co-host. I don't. I have somebody I'm going to be interviewing. I'm excited about this. I've gone through this so many times. Nate was supposed to be on with me today, but instead I've decided to bring on the guy who probably had the best numbers in the minor leagues last year, and we'll break that down in a bit. Braxton Martinez. Braxton, how you doing?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me. It's good to be here.
Awesome, man. I'm excited. Like I said, some of the best numbers in the minors. We'll get to that in a little while. First thing I want to know, how's the off season going for you? You know, I see a lot of videos of you hitting. I love your swing, by the way. I think it's just like, I don't know if you met Taylor Ward, but I think it's so similar to Taylor. It's such a sweet swing, you know. But how's the off season going, man?
It's going well, man. A lot has been going on. I started off the off season. I was living in Northern California with my fiance. And then back in January, we moved back to St. Louis, where I'm from. She got a different job out here. So it's kind of been pretty hectic, but it's been good. Ready, like I said, I'm ready for it to be over, though. Ready to get back out to Arizona and get spring training going.
Absolutely. And again, I just want to thank you so much for taking the time coming on and talking with us and the fans here at Talking Halos, man. I really do appreciate it.
Yeah.
So first off, first thing, Nate, who's my co-host normally on with me, he wanted me to let you know that he went to Southeast Missouri State, and supposedly there's a big rivalry that went on there. I'm glad I don't have him on because I'm sure you guys are back and forth. But he missed you by a year. We had to go and look it up. I think you last played in 2016 there, and he played in 2017. He was a junior in 2017, so he wanted to let you know that he went there, and he's sad that he didn't come and get to talk to you about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, first thing I really want to break down and get into, you played 4 years at St. Louis University, where you said, you've moved back to now. You went undrafted, unsigned. You went and played 4 years in Indy Ball, including a year, actually, I believe like about a half year down in Mexico. Let's start it off with right out of college. Was there ever a chance, did you think you were getting drafted? Did you think you were getting signed? Was it always Indy Ball that you were going to go play?
I didn't really obviously I kind of was holding out for like a little bit of hope that I would get signed. I knew I wasn't going to get drafted, just because I had a roommate at the time who was like he was a pitcher. He's still with Pittsburgh. But he was talking to people like for weeks about the draft and everything going on. And I wasn't having any of those conversations. So I was like pretty sure I was not going to get drafted. So I didn't have any, false hope about that, but I was kind of, holding out a little bit for maybe to get like a free agent sign. And obviously that didn't happen. So from that point, I was like, okay, well, I don't want to not play. So I need to play Indy Ball. And there's a couple teams in the St. Louis area in the Frontier League. So I was pretty familiar with how the Indy Ball thing worked, like the whole, the structure of Indy Ball. And it was a major pain in the ass trying to get on a team. And obviously because their season had already started, they're a month and a half, 2 months into their season. So it was really hard to try to get on a team. I tried out for probably 6 or 7 teams and nothing came about, until the team in my hometown had like 3 injuries. A guy got signed, and they literally just needed anybody who was like even somewhat serviceable to come out and play. And luckily my college coach at the time got wind of that, and I was able to get a tryout with River City, and the rest is history.
Just kept coming back, kept signing you to those elusive 1-year deals.
Yeah.
So what brought you down to Mexico? How'd you get down there?
So that was pretty wild. So after the 2017 season with River City, I didn't have any contact with the Mexican League or anything. I was actually, the general manager of the team I ended up playing for reached out to me, and because of my last name being Martinez, and he asked if I had any Mexican lineage. And my grandpa was actually born in Mexico City, which allowed me to play as a Mexican player instead of taking up like an import spot. Because the import spots at the time, you only had like 5 or 6 guys that you could use as an import. And those were usually like big time guys that either had MLB time or bigger time prospects. So I was able to play as a Mexican player, even though I don't know a damn bit of Spanish or I'd only been to like Cancun for vacation. So yeah, that they reached out to me after my 2017 season, and we were able to get the ball rolling on that.
That's really cool, man. That's I've had buddies that had the same thing. You know, or they'll have that same, you know, with the last name, and they'll,
Mhm.
you know, take them and go play down there. What was the atmosphere like down there? I know it's kind of a little bit, obviously a little bit different than playing up here and probably playing in front of a college crowd.
Yeah, no, it was it's like night and day different, and it was awesome. Like it was just electric, and like the games down there, it was like a party every time. Like you couldn't tell if people were actually there to like watch the game of baseball or just to rage. And it was cool. Like I remember like being down there. I was down there for like 4 months or so, and then when I came back after I got released and played Indy Ball again, I felt like I was at like a cemetery. It was so quiet playing back in the U.S. Um, but it was great. Like I got to play with a bunch of former big leaguers, got to play against a bunch of them, got to play with a bunch of dudes that have been playing in the Mexican League for like 10 plus years who just that's all they do is baseball. And I learned so much. Obviously the competition was great because you're playing with a lot of experienced guys, but the stuff I was able to pick up from them was just you can't really top it.
Yeah. No, it's a different atmosphere. I mean, Nate and I, co-hosts, always talk about this. Like we've been to World Baseball Classic games, and it's just a different atmosphere. You know, we like Dominican, Venezuela. You know, even playing with a lot of those kids when you were in Single A. You know, it's just a different
Mhm.
atmosphere. They play the game different than how it's played here in the
It's
United States.
fun. Yeah,
It's
it's a lot
fun.
of
Oh,
fun.
and a lot of people don't get that. That's the thing. Like
Yeah.
it's like people get upset about the showboating and the bat flips and such like that, or the new telescope thing that's going out there. I'm sure you've seen that bat
Yeah.
flip.
That was
but
that was incredible.
yeah, no, they just play the game fun. That's what they do.
Hmm.
They go out and have fun. So that's awesome to hear that, man. And
Yeah.
that's super cool. So let's get on to the stats. Are you a big stat guy?
Uh, only if I'm doing well.
Okay.
Obviously, if obviously if I'm not doing well, no. But I don't know too many of the in-depth stats, but and I try to not look at them too much. But I appreciate them every once in a while.
So obviously last year you were looking up at the scoreboard a lot at your stats.
Yeah, yeah. No, it was in Inland Empire. We had a big scoreboard, so I could see them.
Yeah, no, I mean, I said at the beginning of this interview, you know, you put up some of the best numbers in the minor leagues last year, and you can be as humble as you want about it, but I'll continue to throw it out there. You really did. Like, you go down, you look in AAA where the ball flies. You're putting up better numbers than a lot of those guys. You're getting on base as much as Mikey Stefanik in AAA. You know, like, and he was getting on base the most in baseball. And I mean, like I said, just those numbers were incredible. What changed? Because you know, looking at the college numbers, looking at the you know, independent ball numbers, you never struck out a lot. You never struck out a lot. You always put the bat
Mhm.
on ball. But you know, you went off last year. That's the best way to put it. Like, I mean, did everything line up? Did the stars align, or you know, you just feeling it, or what happened last year?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a combination of things. Like, obviously, you know, I got pretty confident after I was having success. So obviously, like you get off to a good start, then you can kind of just roll with that confidence. But I switched. It's every year you play, you get more and more experience. And for me, I just kind of switched like my mindset to things. And like you said, like getting on base a lot. That's all I tried to do was get on base. Like I didn't care at all how I did it, and I didn't care at all what it looked like. Because like before in the past, like I was always trying to drive the ball over the fence or, doubles or home runs or whatever. Like last year, I was just like, I don't want to strike out. And I want to just see how many times I can get on base a game, whether it's a walk, hit by pitch, blooper over the first baseman's head, anything like that, because those turn those, 1 for 4 games instead of 1 for 4, 1 for 5. Now you're 2 for 3 because you walked, you got hit by pitch, and then you got that good 2-strike hit. And it was just, you know, it was a good atmosphere where I was at both levels. I was mostly in low A with Inland Empire. Like it was just fun going to the ballpark every day. There was no real stress. I wasn't worrying about anything other than playing the game. And like I said, once I switched my mindset to just try to get on base as much as possible, it took the stress of just trying to get hits instead of getting a hit every time. It was just, it was more of a stress relief type thing for me, if anything.
I mean, hey, that makes a lot of sense. Once you get going, it's hard to stop. Hard to stop with all that. It's
Mhm.
like I said, every single time I looked at the scoreboard or look at the box score last year, is Braxton Martinez is 3 for 4. Braxton Martinez has gotten on base this many times. It just you had an incredible season. I hope you continue it over. Wherever you go, whether it's Tri City, I'm hoping you find you're in Double A. Start season off because you
Yeah.
deserve it. You really do. You really do. Like me and Taylor Blake Ward, I would always text him. I was like, dude, Braxton did this. Braxton did this. Braxton did this. He was like, dude, he needs a shot in Double A. He needs a shot. He needs a shot. So I hope you get the shot. At the end of the day, I really, really do. You deserve it. Let's talk about the clubhouse a little bit. You were probably the oldest guy in the clubhouse.
For sure.
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah, no, I definitely was.
Did you take a little bit of a leadership role there? Like a lot of
Uh,
you guys come up and pick the brain, or
yeah, no, of course. I mean, I was definitely the oldest guy in low A. I'm pretty sure I was the oldest guy in the league. Um, but yeah, I definitely took on a leadership role, and it was pretty easy though because like all the guys, it started at the top. So like we had Jack Howells, our manager, and he did a phenomenal job of like kind of setting where the standards were at for what the guys needed to do. And he's a great clubhouse manager. Like he's very stern with stuff, but he's also, you're not walking on eggshells. But as far as like the players go, it was cool for me because I was 27 years old last year, and I'm playing with guys, like Kyron, who was 19, or JJ, or Deshaun, who's, like those are young guys, but they're so talented. So it was like cool for me to be the older guy, like seeing these young, like teenagers, basically, what they were able to do. And like, we all hit it off. We're all buddies. But yeah, I mean, I was definitely, they would, ask me things about experience, and I would ask that, like, I learned just as much from them as they did from me, which was cool. But yeah, they gave me a hard time. The amount of times I got called grandpa last year was always good. And when you're 27 and they make you feel like you're 57, it's fun.
I bet. I know those guys have a lot of fun. I know they have a lot of fun playing the game, watching them, covering them for the past 3-4 years since they got drafted. They do a fantastic job, and Inland Empire is a great place to play. They do a great job all the way from Jack to Steve Went, who again they just all do it. They just do a fantastic.
Steve's the man.
He is. Steve is the man.
Yeah.
He's awesome. Gave me my first opportunity
Yeah.
in the minor leagues. So he's a good guy. So last question for you before I let you go. And again, I appreciate you coming on and talking with me here. What does 2022 look like for you? What does success look like?
I mean, for me, it's kind of like that same sort of mindset. Like, obviously, I don't want to, just because I had a good year last year, I'm not gonna be like, oh, I got to put up the same exact numbers, do this, and that. It's like, for me, it's obviously I want to play at a higher level. I would like to start in Double A. So that's like, that would be like the first thing. Like, that's my goal out of spring training. But then it's just that simple mindset of, from an individual standpoint, just get on base as much as I can. If that's my goal, if that's my mindset, then everything else will take care of itself. And then success for me, staying healthy, being on the field as much as possible, and just being, enjoying the game. Because, I mean, let's be honest, I'm 28 years old. Hopefully I have many more years to play ahead of me, but you never know. Like, I'm not naive about that. So my goal is just to enjoy what I'm doing every single day, and really just not taking any of those games for granted.
Absolutely, man. I'm excited. Like I said, guys, if you don't know who Braxton Martinez is, go look up his numbers last year and tell me he didn't have the best numbers in minor leagues. I know he's being extremely humble about it right now, and he's being awesome about it, but he really did. He had some of the best numbers in the minor leagues last year, and he's going to continue to put them up. He said, love the swing, love the defense that you put out there. Again, that leadership role that I know you're taking. You are grandpa, I guess. I won't call that, but
no, I embrace it now.
Hey, it's sometimes a good thing. I was kind of that way when I was playing college ball as well. So sometimes a good thing. So guys, go watch this guy. I'm hoping that he starts in Double A. If he's in Tri-City, I'll be able to see him out there because I'm up here now. And Braxton, I just want to thank you so much. When you headed out to spring training, when do you leave?
I'm not. We don't have a report date yet. I'm hoping to hear that within the next few days. So honestly, as early as next week or next weekend, maybe. So hopefully soon.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm seeing some guys starting to, trickle in as it is right
Hmm.
now. So I'm excited to see what everybody has in store this year. Again, thank you so much for coming on and talking with me. Best of luck next year. I know you're going to crush it, man. I really do. You're extremely humble, and I really like that, man. I really do.
Right
So
on.
thanks for coming
I
on, man.
appreciate, yeah, I appreciate you having me on, man, and we'll definitely stay in touch throughout the season.
Definitely, man. Best of luck to you. And guys, thank you so much for listening. Again, go check out Braxton's numbers in the minors. Go watch him wherever he is. Watch out for the name. You never know, where a guy's going to go. You look at a guy like Jared Walsh; it's very similar. So, guys, thank you so much here at Talking Halos for listening, and have a great rest of your day.